Digging by Seamus Heaney. Between my finger and my thumb my squat pen rests, snug as a gun. Under my window a clean rasping sound when the spade sinks into gravelly ground. My father digging. I look down till his straining rump among the flower beds bends low, comes up 20 years away, stooping in rhythm through potato drills, where he was digging. The coarse boot nestled on the log, the shaft against the inside knee was levered firmly. He rooted out tall tops, buried the bright edge deep, to scatter new potatoes that we picked, loving the cool hardness in our hands. By God, the old man could handle a spade, just like his old man. My grandfather cut more turf in a day than any other man on Tonner's bog. Once I carried him milk in a bottle corked sloppily with paper. He straightened up to drink it, then fell to right away, nicking and slicing neatly, heaving sods over his shoulders, going down and down for the good turf, digging. The cold smell of potato mold, the squelch and slap of soggy peat, the curt cuts of an edge through living roots awaken in my head. But I've no spade to follow men like them. Between my finger and my thumb my squat pen rests. I'll dig with it. Digging is just about the rejection of admired family tradition. The free verse structure of digging just shows that he doesn't have definite memories of his past and that he has changed. And this is also portrayed by the no rhyme or rhythm scheme of the poem. His position is literally elevated above his father when he says under my window. Perhaps this suggests that he feels somewhat superior and better than the manual work his father does. The phrase window, well, the word window, is just, we all know, is a pane of glass and is thin yet impenetrable. This forms, I think, a barrier between the father and the son, and this is the idea at the heart of the poem. The phrase snug as a gun is a metaphor to show his tool or weapon. He feels he's got to use it to defend himself from criticisms about his choices. So he feels that his calling or his occupation should be in the form of using a pen. We can also see the use of enjambment, which shows that the memory is very vivid in his mind, perhaps the admiration, really. Sloppily is a very odd word in this poem because it shows inadequacy, and this is juxtaposed with words like nicking, slicing, and neatly, which suggest expertise. 20 years away from the third stanza shows us that it's a past memory. It's not something which is happening. We can see in the fifth stanza that he's got admiration and respect for the craftsman because of the exclamatory sound to it, like, by God, the old man. In stanza 7, we see the phrase, the cold smell. The tone changes to a very reluctant, disgusted tone from excitement. Especially this idea is juxtaposed with what he says in the fourth stanza when he says, loving their cool hardness in our hands. And the potatoes he viewed is very, lovable, amazing. He now views with disgust, and a partition is made between him and nature at this point. Unpleasant onomatopoeic words are used to render an abhorrent experience, like, for example, squelch and slap. These appeal to our senses because they come across as very grotesque, and they form a very grotesque picture in our head, and this signifies the change in the tone. Stanza 7 again, we see the phrase living roots. This could stand for his family and tradition because they're like his roots, basically. Paragraph 8 uses the word my. This word is also used in paragraph 2, and the word my is a very possessive pronoun, and it's used to express his need to write. He needs to write. It's not like he can live without it. Then we also see the phrase, well, the last line really, I'll dig with it. It's very metaphorical because it represents his passion for writing and to keep his tradition alive through his writing. And we can see that he does intend to keep his tradition alive through his writing because he says, well, all his poems are about childhood and nature. And we also see the use of figurative language throughout the poem, and it's used to create very vivid imagery and to show the memory of his past and how much he remembers it, really. The repetition of the phrase, of the word, really, digging, it just shows us that his father and grandfather spent all the days of their life laboring and digging. And digging, if you see, it's got a very strong sound to it. It's got two G's, and it's quite long, and it kind of pulls the pace and slows the pace down, just showing us how long his family ancestry extends in this kind of farming tradition. Similes are used and are very powerful indeed, and these show very vivid imagery. Then we see tall tops, which is alliteration really, and uses and he uses this to describe the dignity of digging and the admiration he has for it. He doesn't think it's any low class job by any means. He has pure respect for it. And as I said before, by God is a phrase used to show admiration and exclamation. The circular ending of the poem is very interesting. It shows that he continues his feelings for his tradition with a different tool, a pen, because he starts off with that and he ends with it, showing us that he wants to keep his family traditions going. It's a very circular poem. And in the exam, if you want to compare it, some of the poems you could compare it with are another Heaney poem, which is Follower, because it shows the changing views he has of his father and himself, really. And Still I Rise is a good one to do as well, because the identity according to relation to ancestors links these